And talk about ball all day.
What game are you guys playing?
It don't matter. Honestly, it don't matter. I'm going to be real.
Whose idea was it best way to pull this together?
I just thought it'd be cool. Get to see two good receivers and do the interview at once.
And now? Was it as cool as you thought it would be?
Yeah, very.
Welcome to Dallas Game Day, Cowboys Nation. The energy's electric, the legacy's alive, and today we witness the kind of performance that ignites hearts and raises fists. The Dallas Cowboys absolutely dominated the Washington Commanders 44-22 in Week 7. And I'm here to bring you the narrative from the field, the stands, and the heart of this team. This is what being a Cowboy is all about. Let's dive in. The scene? Arlington, Texas. Home turf, At&T Stadium. The Cowboys came in at 2-3-3-1, hungry, determined. The Commanders at 3-3, riding some momentum. But what we saw Sunday was the Dallas offense under Dak Prescott going full throttle and a defense stepping up at just the right moment. Dak threw for 264 yards, 3 touchdowns, completed 21 of 30 passes, and crushed Washington's homecoming dreams. But the headline play, the moment that sent the stadium into orbit, that belonged to CeeDee Lamb, back from a 3-game ankle sprain, hauling in a 74-yard touchdown that set the tone for the day. 5 catches, 110 yards, 1 explosive score. That's full tilt return, framed in the lights, and it mattered. And let's talk about arms in the air celebration mode. Lamb caught it, broke loose, arms raised, the crowd roaring, while George Pickens, the recent off-season acquisition, backpedaled a few yards behind, paying respect. A moment captured and a statement made. We're back. We're ready. That connection between Dak and Lamb from the first play of the first quarter signaled it wasn't just a comeback game for one guy, but an elevation for the unit. Running game? On point. Javonte Williams punched through for 116 yards and a touchdown, showing the Cowboys are not one-dimensional. Tight end Jake Ferguson delivered 2 receiving touchdowns, becoming the first tight end in NFL history with at least 50 catches and 6 receiving touchdowns in the first 7 games of a season. That kind of production from your TE, again, gives the offense multiple weapon layers. But wait, this story is not just about offense, because yes, the Cowboys' defense had been under fire this season, leaking yards and points. But Sunday, they showed up. 4 sacks, a major turnover when Jaden Daniels, the Commanders' QB, got strip-sacked and then injured his hamstring, leading to backup Marcus Mariota entering the fray. And what did the Cowboys do? They turned it into points, especially when DaRon Bland stepped in and returned an interception 68 yards for a touchdown. That's Cowboys DNA right there. Opportunistic, capitalizing, flipping momentum. Let's slow it down and savor this. Lamb returns, explosive from snap 1. Prescott leads with poise. Williams grinds it out. Ferguson pays dividends. Pickens adds dynamism. Defense makes the play. Special teams don't just show up. Kicker Brandon Aubrey nails a 61-yard field goal and sets an NFL milestone with his 5th 60-plus yard field goal. That's superstar special teams play. When all 3 phases contribute, offense, defense, special teams, you're not just good, you're dominant. Now yes, fair caveat, the Commanders were dealing with injuries. Their wide receiver core decimated, Daniels hurt, picks and drops piled up. But you know what? That doesn't matter, because a true contender finishes the job, and the Cowboys did. They didn't just scratch and claw, they soared. This win elevates their record to 3-3-1. Not yet perfect, not yet elite, but absolutely back in the hunt. They sit second in the NFC East behind the Philadelphia Eagles 5-2 and ahead of the Commanders. The head-to-head win over both Washington and the New York Giants, who fall to 2-5, gives Dallas an edge in the division. This is Dallas football. The wheels are turning. And listen, with the offseason change to Coach Brian Schottenheimer at the helm, there's a different feel. The system is settling, the players are executing, and when the chips are down, they're stepping up. Let's not forget about the talk about the trade deadline. The Cowboys could very well be major players. The win puts them in position to be buyers. They have needs: secondary, safety help, defensive tackle if Kenneth Clark's injury gets serious, and now the front office has some leverage. Here's what I take away. Return of Lamb equals game changer. He played like it, he looked explosive, he looked healthy, and everything clicked from the jump. Multi-phase strength. Offense high-powered, defense stepping up, special teams making historic plays, a full complement. Division momentum. Getting control of NFC East matchups early is critical. A head-to-head win over a rival like Washington means something big. Still work to do. The Cowboys defense had struggles this season. Wins like this are confidence boosters, but the grind continues. The road ahead, e.g. at Denver, will test them. The front office must stay sharp and proactive. Buy mode is real. The team is alive in the trade deadline conversation. But more importantly, this isn't panic time, this is momentum time. We're not selling, we're investing. Cowboys Nation, let's lean in. This game is a statement, not just about Sunday, about the entire season, the culture, the expectation. The lightning was unleashed, the engine is roaring, and the stadium lights are reflecting our shine. This is our legacy. This is our moment. In closing, keep your eyes on Dallas, because when that offense is humming, the defense shows up, and the special teams deliver, we're playing at a level few want to stand against. The 44-22 win wasn't just a victory, it was a marker. The Cowboys are back in the conversation, and they're primed to ascend. Drop your thoughts below. What play got you off your seat? How do you feel about the defense stepping forward? What should the Cowboys target at the trade deadline? Hit the like button if you're fired up, smash subscribe if you're all in with Cowboys Nation, and let's ride this wave together. Let's talk about it. Cowboys fans, this is our time. Ride with me.